So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the age of videos. This one's going to be particularly awesome. You're going to be really excited about this. Maybe not. So, we're talking about what we talked about yesterday. 7.5, we're doing the properties of logs. This is going to be day 2, and the word of today will be condense. So, we're doing the exact opposite of what we did yesterday. So, these properties are the same. Yesterday, we started with something that was multiplied together and broke it up by addition. Today, we're going to be starting with things that are split apart by addition and condensing them down to recognize that this relationship is a two-way relationship. Yesterday, when we had something that started off as a quotient or division, we split it up using subtraction. And then again, today, we'll be starting with things that are subtracted and we'll be putting them together using that same relationship. And condensing is the opposite of expanding. So when you go to pack things up again, you are going to take something that had that power down in front and put it back up to the top. And since we're going the opposite direction, we yesterday did this step last, but today when we condense, this will get done first. You're going to have to pack that power from the front up into the power before you can put things together, because if you notice up here, these don't have numbers in front of the logs, and so I can't use those properties until I clear that number out by moving it up into the power. So there aren't really new notes, it's just that instead of expanding and taking it apart, our verb of the day is going to be to condense them. So let's take a look at that. Looking at these first examples, again, the base is always the same, so both of these are ln, therefore base e. They're separated by addition. I'm using my first property. I'll put them together as one thing, 3 times x, or just 3x. If you like parentheses, that's fine. Not necessary, but it's fine. These are all added. They all have the same base, so I would write them condensed as one, as w times x times y. It can be written like that. If you feel happier showing that you are condensing them and putting them together with parentheses, you can do that as well. Alrighty, keeping in mind that we also have a property where if things are separated by subtraction, they must have been put together with division. So now we're adding in, thinking about that second property as well. These are separated by subtraction. I have log 5 minus log x, so they're log base 10, and I'm going to have 5 over x because they were separated by subtraction. I put them together with division, and you can write it like that if you'd like. These are all log 2. I don't have any numbers in front to worry about yet, so I have to be careful as I go because here's like a variety pack. So I'm going to have log base 2. Since w is then added to the x, the w and the x will be multiplied, and more importantly, they'll both go on top because there's a positive in front. But this is subtraction telling me that this part's going to go onto the bottom. These are both going on the top because each one is positive or added. This one's going into the bottom because it was subtracted, therefore divided. And then I do like to put the parentheses around because it gets kind of messy and hard to see what is base and what is on top and what is on the bottom and so on. So what if we have to use all 3 properties? Again, this is our addition and subtraction, but we really can't employ those until we have plain old logs. So this is going to be the thing that we have to do first. So looking here, I have log y, but here I have a minus 2 log x. I can't use those condensing rules until I have plain logs. So this 2 has to go back up where it came from. So it's like we unpacked everything, now we're going to pack it back up. So my first move is to get that back up into the power. Now I just have log log. I can see they're separated by subtraction. So then I'm going to have the y over the x squared because anything that comes after that subtraction goes on the bottom. And since these were base 10 without a log written, mine is base 10 without a log written. Here I have all kinds of numbers and none of them can be there. So they have to go up back into the power where they would have come from while I was expanding. So my first step will have the w to the third power minus log base 2 of the x to this second power plus log base 2 of this y to the fourth power. Now I can go through and kind of say, okay, this one is going to be following subtraction. So this is going on the bottom. And then this is positive, which means it's getting multiplied in the problem. And that means it goes on the top. Don't overthink it and think, well, it's multiplied by the one on the bottom. Just take one term at a time. So this one is positive out in front because there's nothing written to say otherwise. So that means my w to the third goes on the top. Then this is subtraction, so that means my x squared goes on the bottom. And this addition means that the y to the fourth is a part of the multiplication part, which always goes on the top. So this is going to be, and again, the parentheses are not necessary. It's not wrong without them, but it's for me, because I have messy writing, helping to say, hey, the 2 is the base, and then this other stuff is what I condensed. These next ones are because Miss Meyer is really cute and clever and way nicer than me, so you're lucky. Actually, you're not lucky. Anyway, these are all base 5. I'm going to condense them into log base 5, and her point in this is it doesn't matter. Letters, smiley faces, numbers, you still condense the same way. So these are both positive, so everything is going on the top. There's nothing on the bottom. And that means they're going to get put together with multiplication. So I just write them next to each other. So yeah, right? All right, take a look at this one. Last example. Oh, not the last example. False alarm. Don't worry, there's more. These are going to be going on the bottom because it's following a subtraction. This part will go on the bottom because it's following a subtraction as well. So I'm using log base 6 because that's what they use, so I'm just copying that. The c is going to go over an x and a z. Now, I don't have any numbers in front of my log, so I was able to just rock and roll those. Ooh, this one's just a quick little review. So yesterday we learned expanding, where it's the opposite. Like, this is the answer for today. When we condense, we end up with something all packed together like this. But when we go to expand it, we say, okay, I'm going to write each one separately. The k is on top. Then it's multiplied by the m, which is on top. And then it's got an n7 on the bottom. So I do minus log n to the 7. But I have to remember that when I'm unpacking or expanding, I can't have powers. So they drop down in front. So the point is the answer today looks like the question yesterday and vice versa. Everybody was awesome at yesterday, so I'm guessing you're going to be awesome at today. The worksheet for today is going to be 7-6. I think I only have that. Oh, here we go. Nope. Day 1, I want day 1. And I lied, it's 7-5 day 2. I keep forgetting that we split that into 2. So boom, there we go. This is what you're looking for. It's in Schoology or it's in your packet. And you are going to be practicing a few things. So this condensing is what we did today. Expanding is what we did yesterday. Inverse is what we did the day before. So it's kind of practicing everything. So if you need a little help, like here, I don't know, I'm going to pick 4. I have ln, this 5 can't be there. So I have ln 3 plus ln x minus ln y to the 5th. Then I only need 1 ln. When I'm condensing, my final answer should just have the word log or ln written 1 time. 3 is going to be added to, therefore multiplied with x. And then this minus suggests that the y to the 5th goes into the bottom. Expanding is like what we did on day 1. This is multiplied, so I'd have ln x squared separated by addition, ln y. But in expansion, these powers have to drop down in front. So then that is my answer. For inverse, I have to think, okay, this is a log base 8. I should end with an 8 to a power. I'm kind of thinking about that. I switch out my x and y. And now in this case, I don't have any algebra to do. I just have to change it because you always have to rewrite these as a part of your process. So I think, okay, I need to start in the base, which is the 8, come over here and get the power, roll back around and get the answer. And then the only thing I need to do to be final is change that y, now that I've found my inverse, to inverse notation. And my inverse of f is 8 to the x. And so I knew I needed to have that in my answer because that is the math opposite of log base 8. So I'm done. Change of base property is the one that I touched on really briefly a couple of times. If you have a log base b of a number, you can split that into the log of the first or top number over the log of that bottom value. So to evaluate, this means I go on my calculator. This is asking 15 to what power is 158. I have no idea. It's certainly not on my power chart. So I would use my change of base to do this over this. Now again, a lot of you have the ability to type this directly into your calculator. And you're certainly welcome to do that, but still kind of know how this breaks down for that change of base formula. And then you got a couple of word problems revisiting what we did before. So this is kind of a long worksheet. You have the whole time to work on it. These worksheets are not due until Monday, and Friday in class is going to be a work day. So you should be good to go. I will definitely be in class Friday, so I will be happy to help you with anything you're having trouble with. I will see you then. Have a great day, you guys.